Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is going to be our final recap for anything Double Agents related. We are doing part 1 and 2 of the reunion because there was no chance that we were going to do 2 separate reunion podcasts.
No way.
Okay, as always, my name is Zach, and I'm joined by Jake because he didn't jump in.
How's everybody doing that?
How's everybody doing that?
Sorry, that's what this reunion did to me. How's everybody doing tonight? Just like you wouldn't have wanted to record two recap episodes. There shouldn't have been 2 episodes of this.
Yes.
I'm not even sure if I watched the right thing because this looked like a Fessy reunion show to me.
Yes.
We'll get into it. Hannah's here too.
Hey.
Fresh off of eating a whole bag of Twix popcorn over here.
Yeah.
Excuse you, not a whole bag.
What's funny is
it was a fourth of a bag.
You gave her the chance to clean herself up before we got started.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm ready.
And she said she was going to hold her hand out, which was covered in popcorn, hold her hand out.
And yeah, because we didn't start yet, and then she started licking her fingers, and I was like, yeah, that's why I didn't start, because I know you weren't ready. She's still not ready. She's still digging in her teeth. And she's like, no, I was ready. I only licked my fingers because we weren't recording yet. And we're like,
she said, no, she said you were screwing around.
Yeah.
You were.
So you were going to sit here for an hour with your hand out to the side, not touching anything.
I don't need to use my hand. Why not?
Guys, this is how we found out who ate the hot dog.
No, and we know for a fact I didn't eat that hot dog.
Don't cut her off.
There's people in the Slack group that are siding with me that no, I didn't eat that daggum hot dog.
Well, let me clarify my statement. We have not we don't definitively say she ate the hot dog. That's incorrect. That's a fault on my end.
But she definitely had hands on the hot dog.
She had something to do with the disappearance of the hot dog. Which, by the way,
no way.
If you want to listen. Two incredible things happened this past week. One, we recorded Patreon exclusive podcast, and one, we got to the bottom of what happened to the disappearing hot dog, which we covered in a previous Patreon exclusive podcast
from like a year and a half ago.
Well, we haven't been in this. Well, I guess we have close to it now. Yeah,
it's weird, right?
Yeah,
it's been that long.
So we figured that out, but also. We always do a question and answer for our Patreon podcasts, and we had a couple of our patrons that went rogue.
4 of them.
Well, yeah,
I haven't forgotten their names.
4 of them, and then plus some extras, and then we had over 100 and something questions, and we answered
every single one of them.
Every single question.
So if you wanted to shortchange us at any point, Patreon or patron or not. We answered 100. I think it was 130 questions. So we did that for the people. And Statman Paul can sit there and get mad that I didn't read any of them, but I let you guys hold the fort. You didn't need an extra hand jumping in. You guys did. I have heard a lot of people ask questions in my lifetime. I have never heard any pair of people ask them better than you two. Yeah. So who am I? Who am I? To just pipe up and butt in.
To be fair, you're the furthest away from the computer.
Right.
They don't know how we sit.
Well, I got good eyes.
Okay.
I'm known for a lot of things.
Yourself, then.
But I got good eyes.
Yeah, so we did that.
There are 3 types of women.
There are 3 types of women. I don't even remember what podcast that was on.
It was this one, wasn't it?
No, I think it was All Stars last week. Because we didn't record last week for Double Agents. Because we're doing it now. This is last week and this week's Double Agents.
No one said anything about it, so I'm assuming everyone agrees that there are 3
Either that or we already
women.
have you muted on Twitter or something.
You're still blocked, by the way.
I didn't see any feedback, but I just did see in our Slack group a couple people talking about this 3 types of women.
Oh, what'd they say? I didn't even see it.
Kari was like, she said that after the 3 types of women and then some of the stuff that was said in the Patreon podcast that she was going to bed a happy woman.
Because I said she was number 3.
Yeah.
Which I stand by.
The third type of woman.
On the All Stars podcast from last week, we all were like, oh, Anissa was the right pick.
Praising Anissa.
Yeah, for Alton.
Yeah,
so she's a big
right.
Anissa fan.
Yeah.
So that's what did it. But yeah, this is our. We're going to talk about Double Agents, both parts of the reunion. It's going to probably be a little all over the place because it's not like the reunions are sequential. Like it doesn't matter what order you talk about stuff. But Other than that, yeah, definitely check out patreon.com/smashingheadspodcast. It was almost a 2-hour podcast, just that. And then we hopefully soonish will have a new design in the merch store that we kind of hinted at. Shout out to one of our listeners. And then,
England, right?
Yeah, shout out to England, the listener England.
The country of
England.
England.
We'll get into more of that later. But other than that, we do have a quick shout out to a new patron.
Yes, comes in with an iconic name, Uptown Darrell.
But not spelled the same as Darrell.
Darrell.
Yeah.
Darrell. Is it Darrell?
I don't know.
Do you think it's Uptown Darrell?
It's I think this might be our first Canadian patron because it came through as
A?
Hey, no, it didn't come through as A. It came through that said, hey, you got a new patron at this currency, and it was like in Canadian dollars. And I was like, well, we don't even have one that's listed at that.
I wonder if Uptown knows the excellence of execution. That is Bret the Hitman Hart.
I didn't understand that reference, and so I just was going to look past it.
I hope you did if you're making the reference.
But yeah, again, they're able to listen to our most recent podcast, and, again, it's just a lot of fun. A lot of things going on. Slack group's a lot of fun, which we've talked about a lot, but that's where we get our most interaction with our patrons. That's Bloodlines level. Mm-hmm. And so, other than that, I don't really have anything to plug. Again, follow us on social media. We do have new people follow us every single week. And I have to think it's partially because I plug it at the top and the bottom of every show. But we get new followers on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook every single week. So, at Smashing Heads on Twitter, and at Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. So
email us.
I'm not gonna. No one emails us. We have one person that emails us, and it's rare, and he's a patron. So
yeah, well, it makes my day when he does email us because it's wonderful. Hello, excuse you. I email every day.
I do technically too, but
y'all are weird, man.
Yeah.
No, we're working adults.
Also, I'm pretty sure you do too for your job.
Primarily, it's a lot of text messaging, believe it or not.
Test messaging. So...
Test messaging?
Anyway, we're going to get into this Double Agents reunion. There's no fancy stuff this week. I don't know how long this episode's going to be, if I'm being honest. We're talking about this because just to put a bow on this season of Double Agents. But, honestly...
Hello!
I'm more excited.
Well,
I just accidentally turned it off.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Good one. So, we're putting a bow on Double Agents because our focus is on All Stars, honestly, at this point, because it's been so good so far. The new episode dropped today. We haven't watched it yet, but, you want to jump into the...
Well, I think the first thing we all probably three noticed right off the bat is that CT looks about 10 years younger and 20 pounds lighter.
He looks like Rivals to CT.
Oh, my word. I saw it immediately.
Han has gone on every season that he's been on. He looks in better shape. And I've never believed it. I've never agreed with her.
This season he did.
Yeah, but not significant
better. I think if you would look at this season and then go back and look at Final Reckoning or whatever he was partnered up with Veronica, it's a big difference.
It is. But this is
This is as close to Prime CT as we've seen.
Yeah.
My favorite CT.
Yeah.
This is not... I don't know. We haven't seen him running around without his shirt off or whatever, but
it's coming.
There was an era in where we got our name from, the Duel 2, where he was just thick and it was all muscle. And I'm not saying he's there because he was a superhero at that point, except a villain because he almost killed somebody on TV. But
so he was the super hot supervillain.
This is the best he's looked in at least the last 5 years or so. I think.
Absolutely.
And the crazy thing is I think Fessy calling him out just rejuvenated him, and then him getting a win anyway. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, if I can win at this state, he's like, what if I actually got into
It's 2 seasons in a row, right? It was War of the Worlds 2.
He didn't win Total Madness.
I forget about Total Madness.
Bananas won that.
You
about to cry?
No,
I've asked him that twice already tonight.
No, it's been a long couple of days, but I'm happy to be here.
So happy he's gonna cry.
No, but I mean, like, if he's been doing what he's been doing 2 out of the last 3 seasons,
and not easy finals.
I mean, and he's in like what seems to be near peak physical condition. Why wouldn't you have him pegged as the favorite going into next season?
Especially if like Bananas is done, which we don't know, but I don't know if he'll be back. I think if anything, he'll come back for All Stars because he's got like an actual like network show now. Like he's had it for a little bit, but again, going out with 7 wins on top, your last season you win, like it just makes sense. So we don't know if he's done or not, but I get it. CT's not done, and
no way.
I don't see him transitioning to like just All Stars or something like that. 1, because you don't know how long All Stars is going to be around, but like 2, like he's not lost a step. Like everyone that talked about like when at the end of the season when whoever made the choice, I can't even remember now. I think it was Nani, to where basically saved him from having to do a final elimination, which he probably would have won anyway.
Yes, because she chose Kyle instead of CT to partner up with.
It's like you just gave one of the best people that's ever done this show a free ticket to the final, essentially, from here on out. And he had a rookie who did great. I'm not taking anything away from Amber B, but he just was like, if you can keep pace or go ahead of me, he's like, I got everything else. And he did, and they won. And it was like not even close, apparently, from like what people have said. They were like an hour and something ahead of everyone else. And like he's just the demise of CT was greatly over exaggerated. And even Fessy in the reunion was like, I'd only watch War of the Worlds 1 and 2, which he won War of the Worlds 2.
Yeah.
And
regardless, Fessy had to do a lot of backtracking.
That was
especially about CT.
That was the big problem in our Slack group is people are like, Fessy just needs to pick a direction, like either own up to it, be the villain, be like, yeah, I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah. But like, don't say, I'm better than everyone. Well, I didn't say that. And I didn't mean it if I said it. And because that's what he did the whole reunion.
He did a lot of that.
And it was very Fessy centric, but if you're a producer, why wouldn't it be? Because other than the Leroy thing, which we didn't get any talk about Corey's kids.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I
unbelievable.
That.
It was like
we didn't get much from Corey at all.
I don't believe it.
Well, it happens. Oh, one thing that I didn't know, but apparently, I think Scott Yeager actually was the one who posted it. So some of them were remoted in and others were in studio. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently Nelson didn't follow like the quarantine procedures and got into New York too late. So he's in New York where they were filming, but he had to do it from his hotel room because he wasn't there in the right amount of time. And that's the most Nelson thing you can ever imagine. And
God love him.
And honestly, he had some good moments in this reunion. Again,
my favorite line, again, just sticking with the whole Fessy theme, he was quoted saying, "Do I think Fessy is a good person? Yes. Do I trust him? Heck no."
Yeah.
Which is very like, how many good people do you not trust
at all?
Right.
I mean, Nelson. In that whole scenario, which again we're jumping all around because it doesn't matter.
I don't think Nelson's going to be one to outwardly say someone is not a good person, unless he's got like serious beef with them and they've done something awful to him, like legitimately awful. I think even with Fessy, where they're kind of butting heads and they're kind of at audience, it's not anything like life changing or explosive. So I don't think he would come out and say, I think you're a bad person.
Well, I mean, again, the one thing you know about Nelson is above all, like a loyal
mm-hmm.
friend.
Yeah,
like he does, like to the point to where he's put himself in for Corey because he's like, you have kids, I would rather me go home than you. Yeah. And like Corey and him take it very seriously, and then the fact that Fessy turned on that is what put them. And Corey even at the reunion was like, yeah, that's our fault. We don't trust you. And we shouldn't have put you at the level that we put ourselves, which was a dig at Fessy. But it was like,
I don't think Fessy got it fully.
Again, it's the one thing. when Vernon Davis hosted the last reunion, I think Jake and I especially were like, that's a very odd pick. But honestly, he's not been bad. He's not great, but he's not Nick Young and what's her name? Justina Valentine or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
At least Justina Valentine knew some of the people on the show, though.
But she was, I didn't think she was a good host. Vernon did fine. CT did say this was one of the hardest seasons he's ever done, which I think that kind of happens. Like any of the modern seasons are going to be tough, and as a recent thing, it's the least far you are removed from it, like the tougher it's going to seem because like, oh, I just did that was really hard, and then as you look back, you're like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought. One thing we did find out in the reunion that I had not seen on social media or anything like that is Casey's injury was like legit. Like she had a ruptured patellar tendon and had to have surgery, and that's the tendon that connects your kneecap to your shin.
Yes, and I only know about that injury because one of our friends' brother just had that and just had surgery a few days ago because of that.
Like, it's the fact that she did that and then still was competing and, like, pushing Fessy, and then he wouldn't eat, and she literally, like, had disconnected her shin and her kneecap together.
What made it all, even more disrespectful was the fact that Vernon kept calling her KC.
Yeah.
And not Casey.
I caught that a couple times. I'm like, it's Casey.
Nobody in his ear saying it's Casey.
He's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, very much.
He also, he calls Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kal. Yeah.
Like Superman, Kal-El.
Yeah.
Cal.
Again, he's not bad though. But I mean that might be one of the worst injuries we've had happen on the show. Like I can't think of one worse. I mean, Jenna broke her ankle in that one thing, but
Test Champs versus Stars.
Exactly, it wasn't canon of the actual show, but like
Nicole Zanata has gotten hurt a couple times.
She's rolled her ankle and then she like dislocated her shoulder, but like our patellar tendon is a more serious. Like you have to have surgery to repair it.
Surgery is like a non-negotiable thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could try to walk around with it, but it's not going to be good for you.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Devin,
the star of the show.
There's all kinds of things you could have talked about with Devin. The best line of the night, best line of both nights, was when Fessy's trying to talk at him, and he's like, "Yeah, you know who else came in last place in the final they were in?" He's like, "Me. You're just as good as me, idiot."
Which was that by far my favorite thing that happened in the entire reunion.
I just like Devin. I get some people don't like him, and I guess if you come in with like a disposition to like Big Brother, you're not gonna probably like Devin. But the fact that Josh and Devin are friends outside of the show,
it's pretty wild.
It is crazy because we say Josh is delusional, like totally. But I do think like he's a guy that if you're friends with him, like he's a really good friend.
Yes,
and
I agree with that. He just seems like he would be a very good friend, a very fun friend.
It would be so funny if Devin worked his way into their alliance
through Josh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, but
I could see it though.
They vacation together. I mean, who knows?
I think that Josh should be on every season.
Josh
forward.
Yes. I want Josh on every season forever.
He's good TV.
It's so entertaining.
He's
because you never know what he's going to do or say.
It's maddening trying to figure out his logic, but he is good TV. It just is what it is. Especially compared to some of these other people that are on this season.
We talk about watchability ratings on here. His is as high as anyone's.
100%. Yeah.
Maybe the highest, if we're being totally honest.
And I would rather watch a Josh season than a Fessy season.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, okay, Kyle or Josh?
Kyle, but I mean, I like Kyle.
But it's a different kind of watchability.
It's
not that Kyle's more watchable.
It's different, because Kyle's different. Funny and decent at the show.
I would say they're on a very even level, honestly.
I'd put Kyle just a little bit above, because he is actually pretty good at the challenges.
I'd say Kyle has a better chance to win if it's not a team challenge.
Sure.
Out of the two of them, because Kyle's actually won eliminations and stuff. Josh's elimination win is probably the worst elimination win we've ever seen on the show. So did you know Leroy had a foot fetish?
I did not.
Well, he told
Yeah,
Cam.
that was a little weird to me.
He's like, did he say she has good feet or he liked her feet?
Was that real? Does he really like... Or was that's just a joke?
No, I think
that was real, and she said she thought he was real weird, and then they got to know each other, and she started liking him. But at first, she thought he was a weirdo.
He's getting a love on those feet now.
I mean, maybe we don't know. I haven't asked about it. I'm not going to.
How's your foot loving?
My foot loving? It's probably the same level as it's always been.
No, but. Okay.
I don't understand foot fetishes like just in like I know it's all subjective.
Somebody's real offended.
That's fine, but like I just don't get what makes a good one versus a bad one. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you look at a bunch? I mean, I could look at someone's foot and if it's like disgusting, like gross, and like got like big blisters and like what, that's different. But I'm like, if they both,
I bet there's people that like that though.
If they both got clean feet, like I don't know what's good and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
No.
Like I don't know if like you got
real
good arches.
Does a calloused foot make for a good foot?
I would think no, because that wouldn't be soft. Wouldn't you want it soft?
Some people like it rough.
I guess.
Gross. What about bunions?
I'm not even 100% sure.
I don't even know what bunions are.
Yeah.
I just have always heard in like TV shows and cartoons and stuff, they always joke about the grandma's bunions and they make the grandkid massage their feet with lotion.
You know, I don't know what shows you're watching, but
hand for $1 million.
No.
Would you, from heel to big toe, lick Zach's foot?
No.
To save his life.
The dumbest thing you've ever said. For $1 million.
Just for context here, everybody, Han hates feet as much as...
But we're married, and for $1 million, she would not lick one of my feet.
No, because here's the thing.
It's so stupid.
You know,
it doesn't even matter.
Well, here's the thing.
Know that I hate your feet.
Here's the thing, is that we're not being vulgar here. She's touched your wiener.
Allegedly.
Why are we talking about
You've touched her. We're talking about his feet, Han.
I hate feet. I hate Zach's feet.
Well, why his feet? What about my feet, Han?
I don't like your feet either.
General.
What's wrong with my feet?
You came over to the house one time, and you had on sneakers without socks, and you took your shoes off.
That's right.
And I almost ripped all my hair out.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to leave the room.
Most dramatic.
I am not.
She's like, I'm going to cut all my skin off and set myself on fire.
Well, it's $1 million, Han.
I'd lick yours for like 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a question.
Yes.
Ugh.
She's lying.
I'm not.
She's
I'm not. I'm not playing it up.
Well,
I'm not lying.
Then we maybe don't need to be married.
I hate your feet so much.
I've started
and I just hate feet. I hate feet.
Hannah,
I really do.
That is possibly the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That you would not do that one
your
thing
own spouses
$1 million.
You've probably licked and touched every part of his body, but you won't lick his feet.
For $1 million. Again, this is...
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
That is definitively the dumbest thing I think you've ever said. Because the stakes are insane.
I couldn't.
Yes, you could.
I couldn't.
You're worse than Fessy.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, even Fessy would.
Yeah, 100%.
No way.
Yeah, it's
no way.
I can't even. I don't even know where to go. You're gonna have to pick up from here.
Then you know what, Han? For the rest of the night, you're not allowed to give Fessy any crap.
Yeah.
You did this to yourself.
I did not. Also, yes, I am allowed to. Because here's the thing: Fessy chose to be on this show, and he chose.
You chose to marry him.
That's true.
He didn't.
Not really.
He didn't make you.
He forced me down the aisle.
Yeah.
He held me at gunpoint and said, "If you don't say I do, I'll kill you right here."
Shotgun wedding, huh?
That's the definition of a shotgun wedding.
No, it's not. A shotgun wedding is when you get someone pregnant and you have to.
I know what a freaking shotgun wedding
idiots.
is, you moron.
First of all, you have no place to call be a moron.
What are you doing?
I was trying to... The mic.
Ashley's crying a ton because she thought she didn't like that people kept calling her a bad person. Because she is kind of right. Like, other than the thing with Hunter, like, what else has she done to, like, screw people over?
Well, and
I haven't seen a whole lot of it.
That's the point.
Yeah. I'm taking her side.
Yeah, I like Ashley. No, I do. Listen, I think I've said this. She's come down a notch. These last couple of seasons have not been great showings for her.
Ever since she took the money,
it's fallen off.
It's like it's cursed money.
I really hope. I saw the cast. I don't remember if she's on season 37.
I don't either, honestly. Me and you just talked about it real brief one night.
But man, I want to see her do well again because she's another one whose watchability I think is really high.
We found out tonight that she hooked up with Fessy one night, but also the same night made out with like Big T. And was there another one or no?
Amber M?
I wrote it down. Hold on, let me look.
Amber M made out with a few people.
Amber M and Michi, and then Amber M and Anissa.
Okay.
And then Anissa and Big T.
Okay.
It was all over the place. Everybody was just going everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I didn't expect the one with Fessy.
I didn't either. I was really surprised by that.
I don't know. Ashley's just a wild card. You never know what you're going to get with her, which makes good TV. Basically, everyone who was partnered with Fessy talked about how awful he was. Anissa at one point just said, "You were a horrible partner." And he was just like, "Nah, I'm not." And then him and Tori, which I know Jake's going to appreciate, they just vibed out.
Okay. Hold on. I wrote this down. He was talking about, oh man, where is it? Yeah, he talked about Tori's vibe and Gabby's swagger.
But he at one point said him and Tori vibed out.
This is why I don't like that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up.
Vibes and swaggers and
energies
and kings and queens. Stop being weird.
He also, not long after the whole thing with Tori, which they're like, "Oh, nothing happened. We just hung out and got to know each other." He went after like Gabby's current boyfriend and like kind of under his breath was like, "Oh, he's half a man," and they're like, "What?" And they're like, he was just like, "Nothing," and they're like, "No, what'd you say?" And he's like, "I said he's half a man because he's short," and it's like, why even like go after that? Like, who cares?
Why say that?
Like, by the way, this guy's built like a Mack truck. I don't know if you've seen him. He's
her boyfriend. I don't know what he looks like.
I saw some pictures on Facebook because I saw it a few days ago prior to us watching this. I saw on one of the challenge Facebook groups somebody posted a picture of him with Gabby, and then a picture of just him from his Instagram. And they were like, who is he calling half a man?
I guess just because he's shorter.
Well, those same groups also were posting pictures of each guy's outlined wieners. Because supposedly you could see an outline of Fessy's wiener on one episode. And then he does some modeling so you could see the outline of his wiener. Y'all are weird for that stuff.
I didn't do it.
Well, I know, but like, y'all are weird.
I have those groups muted just because sometimes we don't watch Night of, and so I don't want it popping up on my. I still post in them every so often, but
those can I just? And I hope I don't catch flack for this. There's some goofy people in those groups. It's the kind of people that ask questions you can go straight to Google for.
No, that does drive me crazy.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. There's a website called Let Me Google That For You, and then you can just type in the thing and then just send them like a short URL.
Yeah.
And then when they click it, it just takes them to a website and shows someone typing it out, and then it just searches for them. So, yeah, I don't know what the wiener outline thing is about.
No, I saw a lot of it.
Okay.
I saw a lot of wieners over the last couple of weeks.
All right. But that was just on your personal time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the only other thing from like part one is CT.
Just looking good.
Well, he learned some of the language of Malawi from Big T. At one point, they talked back and forth, and I don't know what they said. And she was like, I taught him. I don't remember the name of the language of Malawi, but she said she taught him some phrases.
Which I think is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, he said, I went about it the wrong way. Still think he made the right move, game-wise. And you're going to take Cam over Big T every single day.
I do want to point out how cool it was to see Cam and Leroy talk about their relationship and just, like, how legitimate, like there's, like, real deep love there.
Well, and it's not a showman.
And then Nani, like...
So I saw, and I never watched the video, but a lot of people were, like, really bashing her for, like, her being in tears over that.
Nani?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Because a lot of people were even retweeting it, like, I don't know why y'all are attacking this girl over this, and so,
I
like...
didn't think she did anything wrong.
Yeah, nothing.
I didn't see that.
And we bash Nani a lot on here.
Nani can be irrational,
yeah.
but like
but this was very like this is a friend being legitimately happy.
Yeah, because she
I don't know.
She said Leroy used to be the ultimate like F boy, and he's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, you make him such a better person, and I'm just so happy for what he's become and what you guys are together. Like I didn't think she did anything wrong.
No. That's the thing. If you are legitimately close friends with someone and to see them find someone that they are truly happy with and a better person with, it's normal to cry about that. Like tears of joy and happiness. Like, I'm so happy for you.
I'm going to make Hannah cry one day.
You made me cry on the Patreon podcast.
I did. That's right.
I didn't get... I don't understand. She did cry a handful of times, but I never felt like, oh, that's out of line. Like,
well, what they were just like, I don't know what they were like. I didn't watch it.
Maybe they don't understand like Leroy and Nani's relationship and like didn't watch their like Real World season, like all that. But like this is
close.
Like a decade plus of like them being extremely close.
Maybe they don't have any real friends.
Maybe because she cried 2 separate times. I know for a fact she cried when she was talking to Leroy and Cam about their relationship, and then in part 2 when they showed the video of everybody saying something to Leroy about his retirement, she cried watching it, like quite a bit.
We did get some old Real World shots from that, and man, I wish Mike they could have got him to get a video on there.
Yeah, that'd have been neat.
But is this, I'm kind of skipping around, but like, is this the first like official retirement we've ever had?
Well, real quick, I had a continuation.
Oh, okay.
Just if this is a matter of people not having real friends, we'll be your friends.
I'm glad we came back to that. Is this the first real retirement we've ever had?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is. I mean, Darrell and CT and them don't think he'll be done. Like, you know,
Anissa didn't think he'd be done.
You may take a couple years off, but you'll be back. But like, I don't know. Like him and Cam seem on the same page. And she's like, just because he's done doesn't mean I am.
I don't think she's done.
No.
I never
No
thought
way.
she was done.
I didn't either. And she's a lot younger than him. And so, like, I think she'll be back. I think he just is like, I'm ready to just put this phase of my life behind me. And this isn't who I want to be anymore. Like, he really wants to be, like, a barber and, like, just make a living doing that. And apparently he's awesome at it because everyone in the house is like, that's what we're going to miss as much as anything is that you take care of all of us.
And also, just as important, he said he was ready to settle down with Cam.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of hard if you're flying out to do shows all the time. So, what do you guys think that Nelson's business venture with Fessy was?
That's what I wish this reunion would have been about.
Yeah. What are the chances it was a pyramid scheme?
I mean, it's very likely. It could have been like, guys, have you heard of these essential oils that I'm going to talk to you about?
Oh,
it's called Young Living.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody's going to get real mad at this listening to this.
No.
It's not specifically just to Young Living, but there are a lot of multi-level marketing scams out there.
It works.
And
Arbonne.
There's you could just go on. We could do a whole podcast just about that.
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't want to do that.
What Fessy said happened was that Nelson approached him with an opportunity, and I guess sold it to him really well, and so Fessy decided to invest.
Can I be honest? That's on Fessy.
Yeah.
That's on Fessy for being like, you know who I want to trust with my money?
Nelson.
And it's not anything against Nelson as a character guy. It's just, he doesn't know the capital of the state he lives in. And he's given us the most flubbed phrases of anyone else on the show. Mm-hmm. I love him to death. But he's great. He's not a guy who I'd be like, you know what? I think he's got a real good plan for the long-term future.
But also, Fessy said he admitted that he didn't do any research on the company or the business prior to deciding to invest. And he said he didn't research it until afterwards and then realized, hey, this is not anything I want to be involved in. That's on you if you're not going to be looking it up.
I agree. I mean, Nelson's hurt by it, guys. He's hurt by Fessy in general. And Corey just wants Fessy to be humble. And, you know, Corey's got kids. He didn't bring it up, but he's got them.
In case you forgot.
I almost did.
Did you watch the thing that was, like, backstage where Josh to Fessy is like, you come off sometimes as a lot. And I was like, if Josh is the one telling you that...
that should be, like, big red flags.
Like, if Josh is, like, the point of, like, reason in your, like, altercations or any of this type of stuff, like, you need to take a step back and, like, really, because even they talked about it with CT and the egg quesadilla with Casey, which, by the way, Casey I don't think said 8 words the whole 2 or 3 hours.
I don't think she had any lines in part 2 other than the video thing to Leroy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we just watched it not long ago, like 3 hours ago, and I looked at Hannah afterwards. I was like, I don't think Casey said anything this episode. And they kept her out of stage the whole time. And instead of rotating her off, like, you know, they were rotating people in and out, they sent Amber B off, who was the person who won.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really disrespectful. I was like, she won the show, and then you're moving her around to leave Casey and some of these other ones up for some reason.
I think they were expecting to get more out of Casey. Because
what
here's the thing. Even in the little scenario between CT and Casey, it was specifically asked to Casey, how did you feel about this? And she started to answer, and then Josh jumped in.
We did that with everyone.
He did it with a lot of people, but he jumped in and, like, answered it for her. So she didn't even get the opportunity to answer the one question that was directed specifically to her.
But even when she does answer, it's very Magic Johnson-esque.
It's the most surface level things you can imagine.
Yeah, we already knew that. Yeah.
It's like, Casey, what did you feel about the season? Well, you know, CT and Amber B won. Good one.
That's it.
Yeah. There were dailies and there were eliminations, and some people went home.
I was like, you know, that one time I fell down.
Which is the majority of like her camera time in the confessionals is explaining a daily.
It's exposition of stuff we've already seen.
Exposition of the exposed.
Those words don't mean the same thing.
Anyway. Speaking of Casey, they showed a montage of the different injuries that we had throughout the season, and they didn't even show Casey's, which was the worst by far.
I guess they were just like, she's not going to say anything.
She probably didn't even care, honestly.
And like, if they planned on keeping Casey out on the floor the entire time, hoping that she would say something, they could have asked her about her injury, like, hey, how's your leg doing? Heard that you tore your patellar tendon. Tendon. Why can I not say tendon? Did I say it?
We'll never know.
Anyway... But just to get her to talk a little bit, ask her about that. Say, hey, did you end up having to have surgery? Most people
said
do.
All this in the first episode.
I know, but like they could
ask him again.
They could have asked her about her recovery time, how she was feeling.
It's like talking to a wall.
How she felt when Fessy didn't do anything.
It's literally like if you had a wall with a painting on it that was like, you know, even the best fall down sometimes. Like, you don't need to keep going back to it. You know what it says. You know what it's going to be. Like, there's nothing else there. I don't know why she was there the whole time. Josh, I get. Fessy, I get. Wes was the surprising one that wasn't there.
I said he was probably busy.
I feel like that was by choice.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were some people that just they didn't even bother to have on. Like
Michi.
I forgot Leo was even on the show.
The guy from America's Got Talent.
Yeah, Vernon made a comment about how the rookies came to play this season. I was just like, no, they didn't.
Amber B won.
No, they didn't.
Amber B won.
No, they
That's
didn't.
the only.
She was it.
Yeah,
she's the only one. You could maybe make an argument for Nom.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean Lolo.
It's one of the worst crop of rookies.
Quit.
Lolo sucked and quit. That's why she wasn't there. But like, you didn't bring Michi back because he sucked and he wasn't good. Leo quit. Who else? Nom. They did have Nom in just a little bit. Amber M.
She doesn't need to be back on this show.
No.
And she wants camera time so
bad.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it was kind of funny when she just told Josh to shut up because he kept talking when they were trying to talk to other people. But other than that, I mean, her whole thing was she just was on her own Twitter talking about how good her own boobs looked. Like, that's what she was concerned about with the reunion. And you gonna cry again?
No, I think I've seen you talk about that before. Your boobs
on the reunion.
She just rubbed me wrong, really wrong.
Oh, we skipped right over that. Yeah.
It's like they didn't have Liv back for that thing for the reunion,
and I would have liked to see Liv.
Why?
Just for somebody else. She would have talked. She would have talked more than Casey.
They didn't have Peanut Butter back.
They didn't, but she's got to go firefight.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's saving the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have the cast list in front of me, but there was a lot of people who, you know what, I can have the cast list.
Yeah, pull that up, Zach.
Now the thing with Amber M was she was starting things with different people, and then they like making them apologize to her on camera, and then I think it was Tori or Amber B one that she brought something up again, and they were like, "I've already apologized to you on camera. Why do you keep bringing it up? I've already apologized."
All right, so
and your whole roster was on the reunion.
Fessy, Kyle, Corey, Cam, Nom, Devin, Nani, Gabby, Amber M, and Josh, all there. That was Hannah's fancy team. CT, Nelson, Leroy, Jeyyy sporadically.
Forgot about Jeyyy.
Which, by the way, apparently everyone's like, oh yeah, he called me before and said we need to be in an alliance. Peanut Butter wasn't there.
Teresa wasn't there.
Natalie was not there. Teresa was not there. Joseph was not there. Amber B and Big T were. Darrell, very little. And then you had Wes not there. Lolo not there. Ashley was. Tori was. Leo was not. Casey might as well not have been there. Michi and Liv weren't there. And then Anissa was. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that some of these people weren't there. Like, who cares what Joseph had to say about this season?
He would have pulled out some mustard.
Like, that's the only thing he's known for. Like, him and that's what's so stupid that him and Jay and Leo made a song about the challenge, and
I totally forgot about that.
It's so dumb.
I burned it out of my memory.
Like, other than Jay, I don't think any of those three are going to be back on future seasons. Like, I think Jay has a good chance because he had a good run on his first season. He got put out by Leroy again, which I think he would have beat almost anyone else in the house. But Jay just didn't play super smart in this. Anissa had a nice run where, Vernon was like, hey, you've won this many eliminations. And she was like, I've also lost just as many.
Yeah.
And she knows what she's there for. But, it was nice to see everyone, in the group just kind of...
come to her defense.
Yeah, just be like, listen, you're awesome. And I think all of us have said, these last couple seasons...
It's been, I think her best.
Her best seasons.
I really do.
Including All-Stars currently going on.
Yeah.
She's doing well in All-Stars.
And it's just I've never been one, until we started this podcast, where I'd be like, who I'm a real big fan of? Anissa. I just didn't care. And, honestly, she brings... good confessionals. She's smart when it comes to the puzzles and the dailies and that type of stuff. Obviously,
she's kind of funny.
Her big flaw is the endurance at this point. But other than that, she checks a lot of boxes that a bunch of these rookies didn't do.
She'll eat.
Yeah, she's got a skill set that I would rather see her than some of these other people for sure. Let's see. CT said trivia is the scariest daily for him. That's kind of surprising. Not because he's scared of words, but just you know what your fall's coming.
Going back to Anissa real quick, she made a comment about inspiring little girls.
Yeah.
Which when I hear little girls, I think
Amber M.
No, little girls.
Yeah.
Like little kids.
Yeah.
When I hear little girls, I think little girls.
I don't know how many little kids are watching the challenge.
I don't know, but I could see some like 13-year-olds.
You think?
Yeah,
when did we start watching
parents that started watching like some of the early seasons of the challenge that have watched it, like never stopped watching or have recently gotten in, and they've got kids that are kind of old enough to be watching MTV stuff. Maybe watch it together.
Maybe. I don't say that to say like Anissa couldn't make a difference. I'm saying when I first heard that, I was
that's
like,
not target demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
it's
that.
more.
Did you say tourniquet?
I don't think it's a tourniquet, but I had something in my throat when I said it.
The demographic is more
our age,
right? And most,
I'd say your main demographic is like 18 to 40,
and people who are quote unquote messy.
Yeah, we're super messy. That's what we're known for.
Living in a mess.
Let's see what else. I think we've hit most of the things. We didn't talk about Devin sing a song, which was
great. It was fantastic.
It was weird. That's what
I thought it was funny.
But I think the weirdest thing about the reunion is the fact that we got to keep this for the kids. Nelson apparently brought a sexual aid with him.
Lord.
To have at the house.
Weirdest part was,
here let's unpack that. That's better than I guess just hooking up with a bunch of random people. I don't know if he was
safer.
I don't know if he was dating anyone at the time, so that would be a
but
deterrent.
We do know that in the past, Nelson has been a serial cheater,
according to Angela Babbix.
And Dr. Phil.
And, who was, he was kind of on her side.
Still haven't watched yet.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Her season of the Bad Girls Club's up on Hulu.
Is that right?
Her and her sister are on it together.
So, I mean, just judging by his past behavior in a relationship, if he were in a relationship this season, I don't know that it would 100% deter him from hooking up with somebody. But maybe he's trying to be better.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, he left it behind afterwards,
which is weird.
And then he said, I heard other people used it after,
which is weirder.
That's the weird.
Well, the weirdest part is that he would want it back.
Did he say he wanted it back?
He said he'd like it back.
I did not hear
that's
that part.
That's gross.
Okay, so
we go weirder, really weird to this is as weirdest things we'll ever get.
I don't think it's super weird for him to bring it in this day and age.
Well, he said sometimes you get sexually frustrated.
He did say frustrated.
He said frustrated 3 times.
I do think it's... the part I thought was weird was that he left it, and then they were like, oh, I heard some other people had some fun with it. I was like, oh, okay, now that's the weird one. And then you just brought a whole another weirdness level to it.
You said he'd like to have it back.
Yeah.
But I don't care if you didn't win the show. I don't... Why? Like, how much could that cost? Like, $40-$50? Like, why? He could buy another one. Like, why would you want it back?
That's so gross. And to think...
Also, someone would have had to travel back with it.
Yeah. But also, like, when he said he heard other people, does that mean one other person?
I don't know.
Or multiple other people?
Guys, we don't know.
I probably ran it through the dishwasher out of courtesy or something.
Can you put those in the dishwasher?
I wouldn't want to put that in with my dishes. Gross.
Well, you could put it in solo. Just really pinpoint.
I wonder what. So it'd be like
the penetrated area.
It'd be like silicone, right? I bet you could put it in your dishwasher because why couldn't you? You're not gonna put it in your washing machine.
No, that'll ruin it.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That'll ruin your washing machine.
Put it in the dishwasher.
I think you'd put probably top rack just to make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
I don't think they had maybe they had a dishwasher. I don't know.
It was a nice house.
Well, they only had one stove and oven. We found that out. I guess if we ever interview Nelson, we got to remember, 1, who told you it was used later? And 2,
how many people used it?
No.
And 3, why did you want it back?
That's the big one. Why did you want it back? And 4, did you get it back?
And 5, did you run it in your dishwasher? I would love to have Nelson on.
I think Nelson would be one of the funnest people we've interviewed.
It would be hilarious, and it would be fun.
I would want to talk about Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we could get heartfelt too, because he's a deep emotional man.
I mean, so I think that's all like subjective. Like, sure,
we could talk about his friendship with Corey
for sure,
no,
and how loyal they are to each other.
No, Corey's off the table.
We could talk about Corey's kids.
I don't want to hear about Corey's kids again. I hope they're doing well. I've heard enough.
Other than Leroy's send off, I mean, I think that's an appropriate way to end this whole season reunion. I didn't even make a note on it. Vernon Davis doesn't know how to say espionage. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh yes, because I heard it.
Espionage.
And I looked at Zach and I said, "Did he just say espionage?" And he was like, "What?" And I said, "Rewind."
No, I heard it. I just didn't.
And he, sure enough, he did not say espionage. He said espionage. And I said, "Oh, that's a new word." There's a
clip that reminds me of. I'll show it. I'm not going to be able to find it while we're recording, but it's a clip with Kevin Garnett and I can't remember who else, but it's when they had that like TNT show for a minute. And they spin the board, and there's a word on there, and Kevin Garnett just completely gives up on trying to pronounce it.
Oh,
and
I
he
love
just
that
says
clip.
something completely different. And I'll have to find it later because it's a good one. The only other note I had is apparently everyone hates Teresa. Every single person did not like Teresa.
Well, I mean, we knew Nani did. Because she and Teresa have had beef for a long time, but I was surprised at the amount of other people that didn't like Teresa.
Everyone's like, you shouldn't be here. Just, if you're going to call us toddlers or whatever, just like stay home.
Yeah.
Which I get, because that's a dig.
Some people even said that she was worse. Like, Nani said she thought, after taking so many years off and coming back, she's married, she's got kids at home, thinking, oh, well, maybe she'll be a little more mature, a little more like above the house drama. But she said she was like 10 times worse now than she was years ago.
Maybe she was sharing Teresa was sharing in the same frustrations we had, and that because she specifically referred to the cast as boring toddlers, and that her toddlers aren't boring, and which that is a valid point.
About 60% of the cast, you could say that.
She's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I just, I think ultimately we talked about it. This season ended on a high note. The final was good. Solid B- for a season. C+, somewhere in that territory.
Yeah.
Like a good 75. Something like that out of 100.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
I think we're glad to put a bow on this season.
It's not something you're going to go to bed dreaming about, and it ain't going to be something you're going to wake up talking about.
And I don't think it's going to be a season that you're going to be like, you know what? It's 2 years later. I think I should watch Double Agents again. Like, they're better other seasons. Which, by the way, once All Stars ends, we're going to figure out what we're going to do because season 37 hasn't started filming yet officially. I think they've sent people out, but I think there was a COVID protocol break which paused everything. So we'll see going forward. I guess we got to do one last superlatives for the season.
Okay.
I think we should make it unanimous, but on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who got their head smashed?
Bessie.
Who smashed some heads? Stay with me. Give it to Leroy as his consolation prize for he didn't win, but he's going out on his terms.
I really want.
He's not going out on not being called back. He's going out where he decides the terms of it.
can see that, but I really want to give it to Devin.
No, I don't.
I love Devin. Devin got 2 separate really good digs at Fessy, and then he sang a song.
Well, and then he also vacationed with Josh, and again, I just think just as a sign of respect,
or to CT for
respect,
my goodness,
to Leroy. We've never had an official retirement. We've never had a montage sending people off. I think he really might be done.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people from a real world season that I was super excited about in the challenge ultimately didn't pan out. Is he the Charles Barkley of the challenge?
No, nowhere near as entertaining.
I get that, but I'm saying as far as a really good player who we all liked and then never won.
Do you think he'd ever come back for All Stars?
I think that's a different. Again, All Stars is weird because it's not really canon. That's not season 37.
No, it's not canon, but it seems like it's a little bit easier because it's older people.
It's much harder than Champs Versus.
Yes.
But
also Champs Versus is for charity.
True, but
which is fine. I like that.
No, you hate charity.
No, I like charity.
So I think the main show is on level A. It's like the major leagues, and say this is the NBA. I think Challenge All Stars is the G League, and then Champs Versus is a church league.
I was gonna say pickup tryouts.
You don't try out for pickup games.
No, but you what? No. I don't know the term for it. Our friend that has tried out to be on the Grizzlies a handful of times. It's the walk-in.
Well, he tried out for
tryouts.
the G League.
Yeah,
stuff.
the walk-in tryouts.
It was for the G League.
But yes, it was tryouts.
Sure. Okay, I like the idea of tryouts for pickup games. Yeah. Typically, you just say I got next, and then you go from there. But
is that how it works? So I can come and say I got next?
It depends. Sometimes people ignore you.
Would you guys let me play with you?
Oh, Han, you don't want to be on our team.
No. We're currently in tennis mode because it's nice outside. I'm hurt right now.
We'd only be a burden to you.
Yeah.
Jake, you're trying to fake nice and tell me I'm not allowed to come play basketball with you guys.
I say a lot of words you don't like.
Mm-hmm. You're not even trying to negate it.
No, that's true. I say a lot of words on the basketball court you don't like.
He does. It's worse than tennis.
Yeah. I hear a lot on tennis.
It's worse.
It's worse.
I didn't know it could get worse.
Think The Departed.
I never watched it.
Think about Jack Nicholson pulling that fake penis.
Yeah.
It's a very specific scene.
Yeah.
I never watched that movie.
Yeah, think about fake penises.
And Jack Nicholson
I'd rather
together.
not.
But until then,
Patreon.com/SmashingHits podcast.
To Han and everyone else, have a good night, everyone.